Hello! Today we're checking out something called Galaxy Gas Epidemic by Voidzilla. As per usual, links in the description. And without further ado, let's begin. Apparently, I don't know, is this a new drug or something?
Who's behind it? Is it bad? Is it really just for food? And am I in my old man arc? Because today we're complaining about a TikTok trend, okay? A dangerous trend.
A trend, okay.
No,
okay.
The answer is no. I'm very cool, still very hip, still very with it, okay? But I did want to talk about nitrous oxide.
I want everyone to know that I as well am very hip. I'm very cool. I'm very now. I am in with the youth, down with the old, okay? If you guys want to stay hip, be sure to sub to this channel.
Oxide today, aka laughing gas, aka whippets, aka doing a Kanye. Look, it's kind of an old thing, and that's kind of become a new thing because
Why?
we've Americanized this small little canister that used to, you used to get this little cartridge thing, and people would inhale it and get high. You get it at the dentist sometimes. Now we've turned it into a flavored giant canister that kids are walking around school and doing in their classroom.
First of all, how do you even get laughing gas, flavored laughing gas, in a school? And how is it like an over-the-counter thing? Are people just grabbing this over the counter?
God damn, what the f?
Now it's not.
It's okay. It's okay. Just breathe in. Just breathe in. They live in the US. Their school system doesn't teach them any better.
Just the youth that are on this. It's also mainstream celebrities like Kanye West was recently exposed for being addicted to nitrous oxide. I say exposed, but he also posted this video.
Ryan Garcia, this yeah, I'm on the nitrous.
So I don't know how much you can expose somebody who's just posting that.
Definitely not the best look Kanye could have taken, but hey man, you do what you gotta do to get your rocks off, right?
But rappers everywhere are sort of also getting into this. In fact, Adam22, who does a podcast kind of covering some of this stuff recently, well, released.
Adam22, for anyone who knows, is the guy that watches his wife get blown out.
A video 4 years ago.
Her back blown out, just so that we're clear.
Talking about this drug is taking over the rap game. Even back then, it was becoming more popular. Here's kind of what he said about it.
Now, it all seems like fun and games at first, right? Like laughing gas can't be so bad. But in the long term is when you really start to see the nasty side effects kick in.
Funny enough, if you fast forward.
Kind of like every other drug out there, cigarettes, marijuana, cocaine. Any of these drugs, you do them once, you do them twice, it's not going to be a huge deal. But if you keep doing for them for a long time, you're going to end up in a pretty bad situation. And I've worked in bars for a very, very long time. I was in a bar for about 7 years. Restaurant slash bar. And I saw some really, really unpleasant things. Like, there was this dude, he was like around my height, like around 6 feet, regular build, he wasn't like jacked, but like he was very healthy, like 180, 190 pounds type of person. And I hadn't like seen him in like 2 years, and then I saw him again after that, and he had become a twig. Now, I know that's funny coming from me because I'm a twig, but I'm naturally a twig. He was not. And then I asked him, he was like, oh, I did a lot of skiing over the past 2 years, if y'all catch my drift.
4 years to today, he was on his podcast recently and did whippets on his own podcast, which I thought was weird for someone who's like, yeah, this is bad. It's going to ruin your brain.
I mean, are we surprised? This guy literally basically rents his wife out for profit. Are we surprised that he's going to be like, whippets is bad? Now let me take a quick hit of this.
All right, let's go.
You better blur my ass so bad, Michael.
All right, now you Adam 22 now.
Yeah, I overdid it. I did it too fast. What the f?
You Adam.
How the f am I letting him do this?
You Adam.
But it's not just the kids and rappers. Even Joe Rogan's podcast has seen some of this stuff. Ari Shafir, a comedian, recently did whippets live on the show.
What is that? You spazzing, don't shit.
What do you got, whippets?
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
you sick.
you Whippets?
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Might not be
Is this
blown up
legal?
enough.
No.
Yes, like you get them at head shops.
No.
No? You're going to forget how to play pool.
Okay, do whippets kill brain cells?
Okay, so then
100%. For sure. For sure, it's not good for your brain. I mean, like, there's a reason why it's not an over-the-counter drug. Huh?
taking whippets while Joe Rogan's reading. Do they kill brain cells? Yes or no? Answer actually is a yes. But if you heard in the background, they kind of say, is this legal? And then somebody's like, no. And somebody else says, well, no, they just sell them in like head shops everywhere. And that's part of the problem, is that while nitrous oxide is supposed to be just for, dental, like as a drug to be consumed by people, is supposed to be controlled. At the same time, there's also this kind of loophole where it technically can be sold for culinary purposes, where it's sold for like whipped cream, because to use a whipped cream canister, you need a little bit of nitrous in order to make it like fluffy. But it's not going to make you high because you're not actually ingesting the stuff. So the loophole that has been figured out by these companies is that you can sell these canisters as chargers for whipped cream. And this brings us to Galaxy Gas.
This is genius, honestly. It's listen, I don't agree with the practice. I don't think it's a good idea. I don't think it's beneficial for anybody, but it's genius. Conditions of sales of nitrous oxide products. Products containing nitrous oxide are sold solely as food processing propellant for whipped cream and culinary food use only. It is unlawful for a person to purchase products containing nitrous oxide for any purpose not intended, herein, and legally authorized. By purchasing products containing nitrous oxide, you expressly agree and warrant your possession and use shall be legally compliant and strictly limited to culinary food preparation as lawfully intended and for no other purpose. Well, I'm technically eating the nitrous oxide, so that is culinary. You acknowledge and agree this is the material condition for purchase of product containing nitrous oxide. Intentional misuse or inhalation of contents is prohibited and poses a serious health hazard. You understand that unlawful use is strictly prohibited and expressly agree to hold the retail seller, distributor, and or manufacturers of this nitrous oxide product and harmless for any injury, damage, or claims arising from misuse of such products by proceeding on. Well, I mean, he's covered himself. He's 100% protected himself. And at the end of the day, we can't really control what people do inside their homes.
This is currently
yet
the most popular way to abuse nitrous oxide, and if you go to their website, they say that it's intended to use their product.
I read this.
And then you can see all their different stuff here. However, this is just a cover story. And part of the reason I'm doing this is it pissed me off the way people credulously cover this stuff, where they go, people are misusing Galaxy Gas. It's actually intended as a food product.
So it's supposed to take your desserts to the next level, but using it the wrong way is leaving people high.
It's not a food product. The creators know it's not a food product. This is just how they get around the law.
Well, listen. Laws were invented so that we could find the loopholes in them so that we could break those laws.
Right?
Listen, like, honestly, here's my hot take for the video. I don't really have an issue with people over the age of 18 or 21, if you're in the States, consuming any type of narcotic whatsoever. They are a legal adult, they are a consenting adult, and they should have the choice whether or not to take drugs, whether they want to or not. I think it would actually be a good idea if the government got involved in the distribution of most narcotics, because by having narcotics be illegal, all you're doing is that you're making it more favorable and a lot more profitable for criminals to sell these drugs. You're making it significantly unsafer for the average consumer. You're making it more dangerous for everyone around, everyone involved. At least if the government was involved in the distribution of narcotics, they could be regulated, they could be taxed, which would definitely help with the country's economy. But that's just my opinion.
They're getting a hold of Galaxy Gas and similar products following a dangerous trend on, of course, all places, social media. And while it has many legitimate uses, it also creates a brief but potentially deadly high.
The way you cover loopholes like this isn't going like, oh, it's being, it was intended for this, but it's being misused. No, it was always intended to be abused. So I saw this video is kind of the reason I'm covering all of this. This video says the guy who invented Galaxy Gas And it says he has no idea at the bottom, as if he thought this was going. And then, by the way, this is not the creator of Galaxy Gas, but this video was created, and it's an old commercial that got saved, and it's of them talking about the food, like the food aspect of all of this. And people just believe this stuff.
Galaxy Gas? Well, you probably already know. But really, we're the best thing that's ever happened to your kitchen.
Really?
Because Galaxy Gas is the purest culinary nitrous in the galaxy. Why start your morning off with that boring Keurig coffee when you can just as easily whip yourself up a Nitro Cold? We got 8 amazing flavors for you to chef up whatever your heart desires.
So if the bad acting wasn't sort of already a dead giveaway, there's even more proof that this is just a silly cover-up. Now, albeit they're going through with the bit because they create little recipes. Even if you go to their website, they have like all their YouTube videos are them like creating little little recipes with their thing. Like so they're really committing to the idea that, oh, we really believe this is, everyone's using this to chef stuff up. But there's an easy way you know this is not true. And that's because if you were to actually use these canisters for their intended purpose of whipped cream, it's way too much. Like, you only need a tiny amount of nitrous to fill an entire whipped cream can. And so this report at Fox 8 Local did a good job of breaking this down.
Of whipped cream per container. Now, a can like this typically takes about 6.5 grams of nitrous oxide to make. Compare that to this tank with 2,000 grams of nitrous oxide. If you portion things out similarly, you can make approximately 22,792 servings of whipped cream with that strawberry watermelon nitrous alone.
It's preposterous once you actually learn how much whipped cream this stuff could make, to think that anyone in their right mind would be using it for this. And obviously the creators of the product who are portioning it out know that fact.
I think that the anger is misplaced. You should not be angry at the creators of Galaxy Gas. You should be angry at your government. You should be angry at the people who are buying the product, knowing its intended use. The creators of Galaxy Gas found the loophole or are exploiting it, just like most people do. When you find a way to exploit the law that is beneficial to you, most people will do it. I know this guy who he started doing Uber Eats, and he does it maybe once a month so that he could put his car as a company expense, so that he could, all of his gas is he gets like tax deductibles on his gas, gets a tax deductible on his car. He does it once a month, and as soon as he paid it off, like I don't even know if he was doing it once a month. He was barely doing it enough to make a living. But the only reason why he did it was so that he could get a bunch of tax write-offs. That's a loophole. I know another guy that opened up a company. He has a job, takes his paychecks, funnels it through his company to pay himself afterwards, so that all of the money he makes is technically company money, and then he uses that money in other ways. There are ways of exploiting the law in a legal sense, and if you find out a way to do that and the mass is dumb enough to indulge in whatever you're doing, I don't really see a problem with it. More power to the Galaxy Gas people, and to anyone watching this, do not inhale nitrous oxide.
He's in there selling something that could make 22,000 servings of whipped cream, which no normal person needs, is because they know nobody's using it actually for culinary purposes. The other thing is, a lot of these products are not sold by a culinary place. It's sold by like vape shops. In fact, if you remember the guy who supposedly created Galaxy Gas, I'll show you them again. That's the buddy, and this is the other guy. This guy who did not invent it.
This guy looks like he lives in a vape shop, to be completely honest.
But supposedly invented it. Turns out you can find him as the promoter of something called Cloud9 Smoke Co., where he is making promotional videos for a vape shop.
The vape in my pocket is the Grello bar in the red apple frozen flavor. It tastes amazing, and of course this bar has the juice indicator.
So obviously this guy is not moonlighting as a chef. This is just a cover story to sell an illegal high, an otherwise illegal high. Now, I want to be clear. I don't believe that's the guy behind all of this. People have been wondering for a while, who is behind Galaxy Gas? Who are these guys? Because Nowadays, first of all, nobody's really in front of the product anymore. They shoot most of their videos from the head up, and they cover their sleeves. So it's hard to know. It's clear that they're trying to kind of cover their tracks. But we have a hint from an old magazine that they forgot to scrub off the internet. This is a feature in a Vape Shop magazine. It says, hitting new highs financially. Here you can see the first mention of the founders, what I believe to be the founders. It says there are brothers Amor, Sammy, Ben, and Kareem. They run something called SBK
Sounds Middle Eastern.
International. And
I just felt like saying it, and I know it's going to upset a lot of people that these people probably are Middle Eastern.
they're the owners of Cloud9 in Georgia. So the company that guy was promoting, they own
Bunch
it.
of Arabs.
Sam, Ben, and Kareem Amor. We know this is true because if you go to the state of Georgia, you can find that the guy on file for Galaxy Gas LLC is Khalil Amor. And the same guy is CEO of SBK International with the same last name as those brothers.
This is genius.
Again,
this guy is a genius, man. He's like, I'm gonna open up a vape shop, become the owner, have some regular white dude do all the promotions of it, because I mean, like, we all understand that wherever and whenever part of time, we're always gonna have some racist people, and it's always better to have a white person being the promoter of certain things if you're living in a white predominant place, you know, like vaping, you know, like you definitely want to have a white guy as your spokesperson. Hennessy, you would most likely put a black person there. Listen, I'm just saying it like it is. So this is a genius move to put the white man as the promoter for the shop, and then to have this same guy develop Galaxy Gas. So again, he's removing himself further and further from the product while reaping the benefits and suffering zero backlash. This is a genius play. Everyone is playing checkers, and this man is playing 3D chess, basically. That's where we're going to be ending today's video. Be sure you watch the rest of this video on his channel. Links in the description down below. While you're down there, don't forget to hit a like, share, favorite, and subscribe, because we're on the road to 400. And if you don't want to help, well, remember, at the end of the day, I'm just some guy on the internet, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.